Everyone. So day 75. How to approach day 75. Past day 75, but I seem to have found the ability and way to do that. So I'm going to start into action here. I'm going to work with what we have been doing this last little bit. So I'm going to take the Tai Chi work done. Yesterday I did seated and stand. So I'm going to do seated. So we have everybody with us. Enough. Bring that down. Okay, so starting with the bow, let's bring that in. Part 3. I want you to notice that of your postures, we're working through everything where you forward and back, and the pelvis, which you notice in the spine. I just want you to bring awareness. Okay, so let's do commencement, and then let that go. Okay, so to begin part 3, cross the hands. You're going to sink, carry tiger to the mountain, brush knee. Bow and arrow comes back. Open the hands. 2 hands go forward. This is going to come back, whip to one side. It's going to come around and reach out. Hello, Jeanette. We are doing part 3 of the Tai Chi set, and I'm just moving into parting horse's mane. That comes through the hands, forward and back motion. We're just going to be aware today, but also what in the movements. And here's number 4. Left grasp bird's tail. Hold the ball. Grasp bird's tail. And today I'm going to go underneath and pass the hands. So we have been sensing the energy the last couple of days. Open the hands. 2 hands are going to go out. Comes around, whip to one side. And bring that back. So now we have Fair Lady Shuttle. So this is going to come around, and then the left hand is going to open on the top. Comes to your right hip, to your left hip as the hands cross. Reach out with your right hand on the top. Cross the arms with the left in the front. Left goes to the top. Back to the right hip, over to the right hand goes out. Hold the ball, tail, hold the ball, grasp its tail. And again, my hands, open the hands. 2 hands are going to go out. This is going to come back around. Reach out. Move hands like this. This is coming up. Right here, this is beautiful for noticing what happens with the body. So you have a lift at the end, and a lift, and a bit of a sink. All right, so I believe this is number 3. Feel that lift. It's interesting because it's actually mimicking what happens in the standing form. But we actually feel it here in the seated form. I believe this is number 6. Let's do one more. Here comes number 7. It's going to come out, whip to one side. It's going to come all the way through. Okay, so now we have a snake. So this has a lift and then a sink Lotus flower. Be standing on the left, standing on the open. This goes ward off monkey, sink back, open, sink back. Here we go, number 3. Open. This is going to come around and reach out. Step up. Pushing into the feet. Sink. Line up that spine. It's going to have a lift. Come forward. Push into the feet. So it's going to come up. And brush through. It's going to come back. That's going to turn. Bend penetrates. Wipe the sleeve. Hold the flowers. In, out. Sink. That's going to go out. Twist step. Grasp its tail. Open. Palm to palm. To one side. So I'm going to move hands like clouds 3 times. Good. Nice and tall. Over. Lift. Just going to come through. Then we have high pat on horse. This comes back. Lift. So you can feel right through the spine on that. Sink. Just going to reach out. To be a heel kick. Bend. Hold the flower. Through. Punch. Hold the ball. Grasp for its tail. Palm to palm. Comes back to one. And out. This is going to rise. We have a sink. This is going to come through. Hand turns. Stars. Comes back to shoot the tiger. Sinks back. Right hip, left hip, over. Flowers. That's a lift. With the sleeve. 2 hands. Sink. Everything. Let that go. And then sink. So there is third part, seated. Big, interesting movement in hands like clouds that you could feel that square. That you can feel it. When you come across, you can feel that lift. And then there's a little bit of a drop here when everything goes to change, and it's like it goes across. And then there's a lift again that comes through. Let's go to standing, and let's play with that because it's easier. I know you noticed it before in standing, only that I mentioned it to students. Okay, so from the third part, we'll again. Focus today is on what is the hip doing, or the pelvis, noticing it and noticing the spine. through. So here we are. So you turn left side, step. This is going to come through, bow and arrow back. Opening the hands, and then 2 hands go forward. Sink that back. Thanks for the love. I saw it come up. Whip to one side. Step and reach out. Okay. So right. Turn. Hold the hands. This is parting horse's mane, so we have 5 of them. So the right hand reaches out, and you have a sink. That leg. You have an expansion that goes through the body. So right here, it contracts, but then it expands, contracts, expands and extends. Expand and extend. Contract. Tail. So now into the corner, hold the ball, and I'm just going to move out of the wall. So we go, when arrow comes back, sink. Palm to palm. Open. Hands are going to go forward. Sinking. Whole right side is going to turn. It's going to spiral up and out, sink, and then comes through. This goes into Fair Lady Shuttle. I'm just thinking about all of the directions. I'm trying to think for you, pelvis. Step into with the left foot. This is going to spiral out and expand. And then we're going to sink back into the right foot. Turn that left foot over. Step. Reach out. Crossing the hands, step. Sinking back into the right. Turn, right underneath the lamp here. Reach out. Hold the ball. Left grasp. Hold the ball. Grasp. The hands go past. Palm to palm. Open. Go out. And then sink back. Right comes all the way around. Whip to one side. Sink. Place the foot. Move hands like clouds. So turn. Come through. And this is going to come over. Step. I'm just going to step back so I can get into alignment of the camera here. So this goes over. If you notice, you go across the foot, push up. So you change the level of where you're at. Up. Goes across the bottom. Up. Comes across the top. So it's like a square. So as I was describing what was happening seated, you have this action also happening, just slightly differently, comes across. Okay, now there would be 7. I think I'm going to be into the piano, so I'm going to call. This is going to comes back around, whip to one side, to your right, step and reach out. The right foot, open the left heel, sink down on the right leg, and pull the right hand through and stand up. Step patois, stand up. step back with the left, and now your tailbone is going to go straight back. Just spiral. Step, straight back. Spiral. Step, straight back. Spiral. Step back with your right foot, into the right, over to the left, step and reach up. Half a step, sink. Your right toe, drop your right hand. This is going to come across, expand. This is going to come up to the top. That spiral and brush. Half a step, sink back. Push the needle to C-bottom, comes back through the arm, and reaches out. Chop. Snake puts out his tongue. Wipe the sleeve, hold the floor. Step through, in, out, wipe, sink. Step through and punch. Hold the ball, grass bird's tail. I'm just going to move back. Vision, open the hands, two hands. Sinks back, it's going to come around. Whip to one side. Move hands like clouds. It's going to go across. Here's your first one. Going to come back. Sink. And reach out. IPad on horse. You're going to go back into the right. Rise up. Sink back down in the right. Reach out. Turn. Heel kick your right foot. Flowers. Pushing off that back foot. Twist step. Hold the ball. Grass bird's tail for our last time. We do it so many times. Palm to palm. Open. Sink all the way around. Whip to one side. And reach. So you're going to open. Right. Sink. Going to come through. Reach up to 7 stars. Step back. Reach. Sink back into. Turn the left side. Sink into that left side. Step back. Pigeon toe. Sinks back. Hold the flower. Deflect, parry. And punch. Wipe the. Two hands go out. Two. Sink. The hands over. Okay, so let's put the bow on the end. Okay. Share with you. So I'm going to come a little closer so I can share it. I've been involved with watching Touch for Health Kinesiology Association conference all day and picking up some tidbits there was a great discussion on Dantian by Alexis Costello, and she talked about the Dantian from an energy perspective, but not from a movement perspective. I just wanted to share with you the value of Tai Chi, because you don't have to know anything else about healing or energy work. You just do movement, and it takes care of itself. The potential starts up. Everything is right there. The tools are all there. It's so incredible. You don't have to know anything. Just now, for those people learning Tai Chi, go, what do you mean? Just because you have to learn the movements. That is true. You have to learn the movements. But let me tell you, it's worth every effort. And every moment, by having a pattern that sticks, you can't remember it, or back's tight, whatever, that is your learning piece. That is where you are holding on to something that's not balanced, and it's giving you, I have a problem here, and you need to pay attention to it. And then you can, and you're there. So I just wanted to bring that back around, because it just reinforced to me there are so many tools that I in my bioenergetic wellness toolbox in Tai Chi, knowing my, that's great. So what I want to share with you is one really key piece, because I was still thinking about, and I've talked about the expansion of Dantian, and I've talked to you about in the lower Dantian, so below the belly, how this comes in. It comes in, and then we pull on it by doing things like this. We expand it, and then when we go to leave this position and come back, we contract it, and it comes in, and then it just continues to keep building and building and building, and that's how we get to store energy. Healthy, and when we don't overextend ourselves past what we have stored, we have the vitality to do everything we want to do. So then I'm thinking about what else makes it important, because when they talk about, well, we'll just fix energetically, we can do it, but dynamically there's something that happens in movement that is so important. And if you don't move, the body doesn't get its benefits. So I opened up again Robert Tangora's book. It was sitting. So it's the internal structure of cloud hands. So move hands like clouds, which I was saying to you, just pay attention to your spine and your pelvis today. The waist is the commander. We've talked about this before, but one can cultivate strong turning power and the capacity to adapt to without well to vertical force. That's the up. I realized today that that up-down action I have talked about through the weeks, and it is key to what we're doing. And move hands like clouds, seated and standing, where it is. White stork spreads wings. When you come up, you expand between the vertebra, and then you spiral on the end of that. That is the vertical power. Play with it. We go up and down, and we create that pump. I wanted to tell you about it's rather than just a cylindrical action. And is you actually gain inches in your spine, then you contract them, and then you gain inches again. Those who are told they're getting more drinking, you actually can slow that down. Each vertebra. Okay, the other piece is a bending and a stretching of your torso from your quad and hips, the base of the body and your hips, and together with the postures that are in contraction and those four powers we talked about, the pons, the lu, the gi, and the on, the powers, those all allow contraction, and this to happen, which we've talked about. And all of that leads you to the capacity to store and discharge force, which could be used as a component, that being a martial arts, or it's used is that I wanted to say, when you turn and vertically, it helps to loosen the fascia or the connective tissue between your organs. This more or less turning, it's not if you just turn, that little piece. Then you don't get that vertical aspect at the same time, which is absolutely key for moving the fascia and the organs. And the organs need to move so that, or the rate at which they can find their rhythm. But if they're all calm, they lose their rhythm and they can slow it down. And what you want to do is make it really vibrant. Okay, all that being said, brought me back to what I'm presenting tomorrow, which is move, 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 because you heal the body with movement. And you don't have to know anything else, you just have to practice your movement. So let's look at, this is a beautiful little spot, and I was kind of excited about getting this. Okay, so if I go back to seated, since I put the camera down low. Okay, so if we did a waist turn, which I was just describing, so the hand that's here, this is a foundation exercise, turns here, and that goes side to side. And we've talked important because the muscles in the spine, if we're nice and comfortable, they release, so you can release that's stored along the way. So this is good. Okay. Get to move hands like clouds, and this goes across. Yeah, that goes through. Sorry, my hand was confused. Through. So this has a lift through. Up. So if you notice, it changes. When we've talked about where the palms are positioned, they change. That's what happens. So as this hand is coming up, this one is coming down. They change, and as they come through, it changes the spiral. When we come on this little, it comes through, there's a dynamic through the stomach muscles. They would say the core, and you're holding it in one position. You're actually dynamically moving them in an interconnected pattern. It's all so coming through. You can just feel that difference. So this is meditation, which is calming and relaxing and important. But then there's this whole body spiraling, dynamic together. And more so through here, but you already are connected to move. Okay, so let's go to the standing version of that. And I just want you to really understand what gifts you're offering yourself every day. Just so cool. So here goes your hand. Here's the down. Back opens. So you've lengthened your spine. As you go across, you have that spiral action. Push, lengthen. Okay, so you feel that pump action is in there. part of the pump action that's really cool is how you step on your foot. So as you go down into your right foot, you're pushing the bubbling spring. When you come across, you're going to release bubbling spring as you shift down into the left foot's bubbling spring. And now you've released the bubbling spring on your right foot. And there's this pumping, and you did it the same seated, this pumping foot, and is completely connected into the spine and into, but you coming up and down. This, how you could feel. Then you start placed on the floor, and that push that goes down into the bubbling spring, and it comes back, just down and comes back up. And that's that pump feeding all the systems. It isn't just about trying to open an energy like trace a meridian, but it's about the whole piece that goes all together. Anyway, thank you for letting me explain that to you. That will help me tomorrow as I'm trying to give that to people who so they're limited in movement capabilities, and so being able to bring that whole thing. So yesterday, I asked a group that we had gathered how many people had given themselves, what they'd done for themselves this week. And they had very limited answers. And it was interesting because I was like, oh, I've done this. And I realized not everybody did. I did, just because I do. So by giving yourself Tai Chi every day, and then you have energy to. Okay, so let's do some low cup because we're going to get more action, whole body movement, and put the pattern in. Okay, and I haven't done low cup for a little while, so I thought maybe I'd have people that are looking for that. Okay, so low cup. I'm facing you. Arms come up. Sections because of the dining room. So now expansion. Tailbone drops and sinks. So there's no spiral in there, but there definitely is an opening of the spine. The hips let go, and there's an opening in the pelvis. And then there's this tiny little turn down into the right foot. So there you started that pumping action. Sink. This is going to come up the front. Lift through the spine. You're going to turn to the right. Sink and let that drop. Lift. Turn to right. Sink. Plant. Spiral up. Sink. Let that go. Your left foot. Now you have that pumping spiral action. Plus your hand to the brow. Passing of the palms to the knee and the direction that the pelvis goes. Hold the ball. So you've transferred your weight. Shift into the right. Push into that right. Expands. Push into the left foot. Sends you back. And then push into that right foot. And open it. Together. Sink. And right there now you've got an up, down, vertical. Lift. Open up. Expand. Sink. And then this is going to come right. Expand. This is going to sink back. Plant the right foot. And this has a lift. And a sink. Now you're going to pump through those feet into the right, into the left sink, right heel, two-hand push. I think we can go just a little bit further. Sink back, ankle. Now we're rolling this, which changes your hip, the dynamics of the hip, and then it's asking it to spiral into position. Step backward, step parallel. Hands change, which means the pelvis changes again. Sink down into your right foot. Sink down into your right foot. Right hand glide across. Open. Okay. So up for a little while. You might have been able to catch all those nuances. If it's new to you, there's a lot going on. So, focus on the hands. Have a seat and do it. Focus on the feet if you want to do that. I'm just going to repeat that whole section again because there's so many beautiful. I just want you to find them. Okay. So that again. So we have. I'll come back. Okay. Now go right your head. Notice your posture compared to the first time we did this. Sink. Drop. Right to the bottom. Fingertips start to turn in and you can feel the pelvis change in position. And then this is going to pull apart, which has a spiral in the pelvis, also in the shoulders, right through the torso. And you start to change the fascia. Sink. And the fascia, picking up the speed of information that's being transferred, but also moving fluid. Lift. Push. So now you've got that dynamic through the foot, noticing off the foot. So you're down in the right, transfer to the left. Forward arrow comes back, and then it's going to go down into the left again. Sink. Hold the ball, step with the right foot, goes to the brow. Bow and arrow comes back, sink. Palm goes forward, sink. Wipe the hand. Sorry, that wasn't the camera. Pausing, that was me. Okay, feet go together. Step, step. Now, if you sink down into your feet, open the spine. Right up through the top of the head. Open the hands. Now you want to come out from the center, sink again, right there, and spiral. You have it in a different position. Sink. Now you want to walk heel to toe, lift up, toe to heel, sink, heel to toe, push up. Spiral on the right heel. This is going to go up, lifts up, then it sinks and drops. This has a spiral. Step backward, step parallel, over. This is going to come down, and you shift your weight into the right foot. It's going to spiral out, separate hips and shoulders in a different way, and then out. Okay. Rock right underneath my foot. I hope you could feel the differences in those pieces, just that dynamic. That spot. I'm just going to back up so you can see me. Out. This goes all, which sinks down into the left foot. On your left foot, and this is going to go to the brow, which has a sink down into your right foot. This has a spiral. Right here, your hand gets to your hand to bring it this way. Your spine changes right there. So this is going to drop, step through, and it lines up in a new way. So now you sink back, and as the hand turns, and this is going to come through. Turn, step open. Now this is going to come through from the center, sink. This comes back up, spiral, turn that whole left side, step, sink into the dining room table. Spiral on the right toe, hold the ball, and reach out. Step and reach. So now this is going to change the pelvis and the spiral within the hip. Comes back, the toe is just going to line up to your side. Step your feet together, and now you have the weight going into the bone. Expand the spine, sink. This is going to open and look to the left, make noise to the east, hit the west. This sinks down into hold, step, and then reach up. I'm just going to go up to Green Dragon's Claw. Step. This is like parting horse's mane. So you have that dynamic coming through the shoulders and the hips together. You're familiar with cloacles. Pelvis changes. Up. And reach out. Okay. There's so much in there. Okay. So let's try that little piece again. You have in this one, coming from the Tai Chi, it's much bigger movements because it's about structure. And when you come into here, it's about the tendon and muscle relationship. So you start to get into more mind, and you have that whole thing. So you might have the left side opening, the right shoulder opening. So you start to pull across, to contract across. So you end up with this movement that's changing everything in the middle. Try that again. So we would have flown geese flying pairs, hold the ball, step, this goes to the brow. Okay, so you got that spiral down into the connection of the hand to the brow. Hand, so right here, noticing the position it's in, you're stepping forward and then reach out with your right hand. Now, if you push into that right foot, it opens the spine, creates a beautiful snake action that matches your hand, which is coming all spiral, step open, and let that come out from the heart. Oh my goodness. Let go for me. I actually could see. This is spiraled. This is going to turn around, step open, push in. Open and expand, your right heel turns. Hold the ball, step, reach out left. So you're linking up the figure eight pattern. And sink back, so it's changing the pelvis one way, toe turns. Sink into the other foot, pelvis changes again. Palms change, line up the spine. Sink, look to your left. Sink, look to your right. Step with the left foot. reach out. So we have the 3 patterns here of figure 8. Reach out. That's number 3. That sinks back so you can feel in your lower back everything dynamically changing. And your claws. Okay. That gives you next. I'm going to give you the next piece. Snakes are dynamic and they're hard work, but when you get them right and you really have practiced your Tai Chi, that you just fall down into snakes and can move, the dynamic is more significant because now as you talk about that spiraling action in the vertical, you have it within that drop. And now the legs are embracing it, not just okay? So let's play with that a little bit. So you have the claw goes out, hand goes down, to sink back, opening the spine, out to face your hands will cross. Your left hand comes up over the top, one-legged W down into a snake. I'm going to go over. I'm going to just focus on getting all these actions in for this first time. Open. Shift the weight. Spiral. Step. And then this is going to come. I'll just finish this last piece. Sink. The palm comes. This is a different action coming through the pelvis then. Hands up on the toes. Toe, heel toe, push out. Okay, so let's do that little piece again. Okay, so I've got claw goes out. Sorry, can't see. My claw's there. His hand's going down, and my right foot is digging. Sink back. Turn. Let the left hand go over your head while the right one goes down the leg. Down into a foot, heel. Hand side, spiral all the way around. So you're open with your right hand at the back. Left foot, push out. Sink back. Up through the feet, walk. Toe, heel, push out. Okay, let's just do one more time. So you've got it. Okay. So you've got it. Maybe you'll have it. It's a tricky little one. It's beautiful though. Turn that left toe. Raise that spine apart. So now when you go to spiral, you're going through the spine, through the hip, through the shoulders, right through the back. Step through. Sink back. This is going to come up. This is going to walk through the foot. So heel, heel. Okay. I'm hoping I gave you some good foods for thought. Your showing up for me today allowed me to articulate what I need to say tomorrow. So I thank you for that. I do that at noon tomorrow. And I'm excited to share Tai Chi, the bioenergy community that fixes movement, but doesn't necessarily understand movement. So being able to help shed the light onto the dynamic power that Tai Chi has. So have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here. I send a heart back to Debbie because I can see her name. Jeanette, thank you for being here. Anybody else that's shown up, you are why I'm still here. And I appreciate that because the other thing I realized today listening to everyone else was the other thing they're not talking about is group dynamics. And if you create a relationship, even if it's long distance, it means a lot to be able to connect energetically together to do this. and I can't do it without you, so I'm very grateful for that. Have a great rest of your Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow.